Langlaagte, south of Johannesburg. And our reporter, Manqoba Mchunu, is tracking that story. We understand there is a press conference that is currently going on there. Let's take you live.
Having thousands of international and local people come and see and experience the foundation of our city, because Johannesburg was built around mining and gold in particular. Why are we losing this opportunity? Why we don't have law and order in the country? For me, it's totally unacceptable.
So will you be calling on government, particularly the DMR, to be closing these abandoned shafts that have been left open for quite a number of years now, especially looking at the fact that this is not the first illegal mining disaster that we're dealing with. We had Benoni, we had West Rand, we had so many of them in the past.
Without any doubt. Here in Johannesburg, as of tomorrow, I am going to be engaging really very seriously, because we cannot live in a country where there's no law and order. If you want to destroy a country, destroy the rule of law. And this is basically what's happening. Why we are allowing our mining to be taken over by criminal elements is beyond imagination. That is why our economy is suffering. And the reason why people are mining illegal is not because they like to be here, because there are no other opportunities. We should be using them to be our tour guides and looking after the economy of our country, unlike right now allowing them to break the laws of our country. So we have to engage DMI to actually understand, here it's in Johannesburg, we need to really be in a city where there's law and order, because without law and order, we'll have no country. If we don't have the country, we're not going to have an economy. And if we don't have an economy, we're going to have our people living under this type of squalor that we've just experienced.
And what is your plea to community members who are stationed outside the gate now, have been here since yesterday, and as they indicated to the MMC earlier on, that they're running out of patience? What is it that you'd like to say to them?
I'd really like to appeal to them that the rescue team, there's a team here from DMI, everyone is actually quite concerned with the safety of the people down there. They are doing everything possible to go and rescue their lives. They are doing it actually at the risk of their personal safety as well. So they are doing everything possible. Please bear with them, because these mines have been shut down for many years. So we don't have the proper equipment, the proper infrastructure for people to the rescue team to just go there without ensuring that they make the necessary preparations. So please bear with them. They are doing everything possible to ensure that your members of families are taken care of. We concern, because they are our fellow human beings. We concern about their safety and their well-being. But I'm appealing to them going forward, please allow our country to have the rule of law, because at the end of the day, ultimately, everybody is going to suffer. We have to restore law and order in our city.
To illegal miners?
Yeah, to legal miners. That's exactly what I'm saying to them. Please, I'm appealing to them. They've got to stop this practice. We cannot allow it in the city of Johannesburg, because you're holding our country and our city to ransom. We cannot allow criminal activity to happen, to continue in our city. Because mining in particular, you can imagine this news are now all over the world. What are we saying to the international investment community about South Africa? What would be the impression when they see the people taking over our mines in an illegal fashion? So people will be wanting to come and set up factories in other sectors. So would want to go and invest in a country where there's no rule of law. So please, this is not just for the mining industry. This is about our country. We need a functioning economy. We need investors. We need international investors. And the only way this country would really be in a position to attract international investors can only invest where there's a rule of law. And South Africa has to be a shining example. So it is for that reason I'm saying tomorrow we have to do everything possible to engage national government to assist us in this regard.
These operations normally take a few days. Do you have any idea how much it's costing the city, it's going to cost the city per day to launch this kind of an operation? Seeing that you've got the police, you've got the Metro Police as well, you've got emergency services, and you've got the private company, which is the Miners Rescue. Can you please just quantify how much it's going to be?
Well, something like this you don't plan for, that you can budget for something like this. You don't budget for it. Well, look, unfortunately, it's not just really the city that's involved. We've got the mine rescue team working with the DMI. That's the DMI and them that are taking charge of that. Ours, we're providing other support structures like the police, ambulances and so forth. But
so
it can't be, no, unfortunately, to really put in even a figure, I'll be lying to you. But it's a cost that is absolutely unnecessary. It is necessary now because we have to save the lives of our people. But I think we need to focus on prevention going forward.
But how will we do this? Because you said that you're going to speak to the national government about it. But then in reality, this is not the first story that we have done, and it's definitely not going to be the last. As we speak, there might be other people in other cities, what is it, like Germiston as well as Springs, going underground and getting trapped there, and then the city also having to use their limited resources to rescue them. What is it that we can do now before speaking to the government about it?
Look, the criminals anywhere in the world can only continue doing the criminal acts if there are no consequences, and that is what has been happening to our country the last few years. So that is why I'm saying we need to engage our national government to understand the results of us not implementing the laws, because when we fail in the beginning, you create the precedents. So we've got to find a way to deal with this, and we need, unfortunately, restore law and order in our country. Unless all of us wants to destroy the country, I'm the last person to allow Johannesburg to fall into this trap. I know some of the issues are not our competencies, like the mining, but this mining, illegal mining, it's happening in our city. So we have to, unfortunately, engage national government to understand their responsibility in destroying our economy by not assisting us in ensuring that there's law and order in our country, in our city.
Mr. Mashaba, speaking to the families, they're saying that, the illegal miners are basically fending their families. They are not doing crime as such, but they are trying to feed their families so that they can also survive. Can you please give us a comment on that?
Well, that is true. As I said earlier on, these illegal miners are not carrying out this activity because they want to be criminals. It is out of desperation. I sympathize with that, without any doubt. I'm the last person to ignore this. However, we've got to then relook at national interest. How far are we prepared to consider the breakdown of the law and order? Because if we allow it, then the consequences are that we will forever have this type of issues. So I think as a society, we owe it to ourselves to ensure that there's law and order, and there's good governance in the country, because then we need preventative measures. We cannot forever operate on the basis of putting out the fires on things that we could have prevented. This facility here should really be serving as a big tourist area. I don't know if you've been closer to that, the entrance of this mine, to look at the condition. Can you invite a Russian or a Chinese or an American as a tourist to come and have a look at and enjoy and have the experience of the foundation of Johannesburg? I think as a city, as a country, we're losing such massive opportunities. These miners should be working as tourist guides, though, as bus drivers or something like that. So we are failing as government to create opportunities at a proper, organized kind of fashion.
Sorry, Mayor, you have referred to tourist attraction and so forth. But the reality is that this is actually a heritage park. But the DMR has allowed mining just within 500 meters from the heritage site. What's your thinking about? Because we don't only have those people who are mining illegally. We as well have a mine here, it's a CR. It has been allowed by the DMR within 500 meters. We've got the school, we've got the railway line, we've got the park.
It is for that reason I'm saying is these are not our competencies as a city of Johannesburg. We need to engage as a matter of agency, engage DMI to really look at the complete solution to this.
Ladies and gentlemen, anything else?
Thank you very much.
Well, that there was the live press briefing by Johannesburg City Mayor Herman Mashaba speaking to reporters there at the shaft. That's where some unknown number of miners, illegal miners, still remain trapped. Our reporter Manqoba Mchunu is at that mine shaft, and he will, of course, continue to give us the latest details as they come in, and we will bring them to you right here on PM News. Now, in another